I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic, and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
Chris Williams, Brent Blum. From the Northwest Bank Studios, it's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
Good morning. It is the 4th of February, 2026. Williams and Blum, presented as always by Mechdyne here on Cyclone Fanatic. We are in the Northwest Bank Studios, bye week. You call it that?
Sure. It fits.
I mean, yeah. It is weird. Like I got
It's
a call.
strange.
I got a call, and this is how you know Jake Brin's a great employee. He called me yesterday. He's like, I really don't have anything to do. Like I'm. Do you need me to do this? We need to do something. It's okay, buddy. You're gonna earn your paycheck. I promise.
It's gonna be a long 2 months for Mr. Jacob.
Yeah,
I'm glad
like,
he's young.
just go and play some Xbox or whatever.
Go fire up the PS5, pal.
Whatever you do, you're gonna be working your ass off here before too long. Welcome to the show. We are, as always, presented by Mechdyne, the presenting sponsor of Williams & Blum for 4 or 5 years running, something like that, on Cyclone Fanatic. We will have another mailbag heavy episode as we got questions from our Patreon members. One of the cool things that we do, and we haven't done it much lately, but we're going to start bringing it back, is we do these town hall meetings with our subscribers. We have one of those coming up at noon today.
Saw that. I'm trying to hop on.
There's been a lot that has happened over the last 2 months, so it should be a good one today. I hope everybody brings their questions. So funny thing here, it is National Signing Day.
It is.
Now, that has a totally different meaning than it did 10 years ago. This could be in my second book, like some of my old initial National Signing Days with the McCarney staff, where you would, I would literally sit in Chris Ash's office and we would wait for these faxes to come in, and that's how we reported on it. Because there was no, and we would post it on the message board because there was no social media, and athletic departments at that time didn't really have the media power that they do today, where they're releasing their own stuff and creating their own content. None of that really existed. There was basically us and Paul Clark at Rivals were really the only game in town who were doing anything recruiting related,
because the Register and the Tribune weren't covering recruiting, and honestly, CW, it's interesting even looking back. 20 years ago, recruiting was kind of taboo. It was like we don't talk about that.
They thought we were like the enemy. It was wild.
It was can't talk about recruits. That's unsavory.
Oh no, it's so real, and I think for young fans, probably anybody 30 and below, you have a hard time comprehending that. We were pariahs in the media world because we called recruits, and we were reporting on which schools they were considering. Yet there was this entire portion of these every fan base, but Iowa State as well, that's what we're talking about here, that just loved it, and they ate it up. And it was perfect for a guy like me because I can't think of anything. Like, I cannot enjoy the moment. It's a major problem, I go to therapy for it. Like, it sucks. I can't just enjoy things. And so I'm always thinking, like, you would be like these McCarney teams. Like, you're always, well, next year we got this JUCO coming in.
Always the JUCO. It was always the JUCO.
We always had the JUCO.
There's always a JUCO.
But like when National Signing Day hit, you can ask my wife. Like, I'm up at 4 a.m. I got my own little like war room here. That was later on. But yeah, we used to just do it in the Jacobson building, and we would connect to the internet. And all right, Webster Patrick's letter just came in. That's how we were reported on it.
I still remember C-Dub. Like, it was the same feeling I got for, not quite the same, but like March Madness Thursday. It was like, oh yeah, this
Very
is
similar.
It, like point. you get the good vibes. Like, you get excited to get up in the morning, or for me, it's when the NBA draft day, because I'm like, oh, there's gonna be trades and stuff. But yeah, now it's just kind of anticlimactic. Although there was some news this morning. So Iowa State did flip a 4-star offensive tackle from Washington State, Benjamin Markalela, 6'8", 6'7", 280,
6'7".
But did lose, and this still happens, but did lose a defensive lineman to Oklahoma State in Savion Bartholomew. Big fellow flipped to Oklahoma State this morning. So you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. So that's still happening. But this is really the high school guys. This has nothing to do with the portal. Portal's closed.
Yeah.
But this is your class of 2026.
The portals ruined this day, and then they also ruined it with the early signing period.
Yeah,
that was the biggest thing. But do you remember how big of a deal the National Signing Day press conference was?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, Paul Rhodes literally made that thing an event. So did McCarney. Man. I mean, it was. I'm telling you, it was one of the top 4 days of the college football calendar. Was National Signing Day. Like, it was. I'm serious. It may have been, for those of us, I'd say in the under 40. Like, and I see that you're in the same way. College recruiting really kind of got me into the sport in a lot of ways. The old, give credit to Bill Seals and his team at Cyclone Illustrated way back in the day. I remember my dad.
OGs right there, man.
Yeah, my dad got the paper, and it was you'd have scouting reports on potential recruits. I was like, what? I remember reading about Troy Davis in Cyclone Illustrated when he was a senior in high school. I was like, oh man, this guy's a wrestler and everything. That sounds great. And I know you followed it as well with some of the other publications. Like, that was an entry point, a gateway to a lot of fans' interest.
That was what got me into college football.
Yeah.
Was the recruiting aspect.
Yep.
So then I wrote about this, and there is a chapter in the book about kind of the formation of all this. But so it was Steve Dace's idea to do this, and then we kind of took it to another level later on. But we would have every year, or early on in the McCarney years, it would be Chris Ash and it would be Tony Alford, who have gone on to have great careers. Bobby Elliott came a couple times. Trying to just think of some where we would
linebackers coach Grant.
Coach Grant, yeah.
Coach Grant.
We would have these events at like sports bars, and in the early years, like 15, 20 people would show up. And they were great events though, because we would have these giant. Again, you can't watch. YouTube doesn't exist. And if it does, it's kind of like a E-Bombs World thing. Like, it's not. It's just like
boom goes the dynamite.
It's people falling off of getting kicked in the junk. Like, that's what YouTube is in the day. It's not.
Yeah, it's true.
But we would have a big screen TV, and like Chris Ash would sit there and walk you through every player because he was the recording, and guys could raise their hands and ask Coach a question, and he would answer it, and like it was just awesome, the access that we got. So then we do it, and Paul Rhodes, I'll never forget, Paul Rhodes says it was a group of us, like, hey, if you guys supply a bus, I'll bring my entire staff down to this next year. So we start throwing these at the old cake stand.
Yep, in the private room.
I don't think exists anymore.
I don't know. I know they had some difficulties along the way. I don't know if they're still there.
I think something is there. I don't know if it's the cake stand anymore. They were an awesome partner of ours.
Yeah.
We had game watches there. We had so many good times at the cake stand over the years. So Rhodes starts bringing his entire staff, and Paul would get up there, and he's like a politician, just firing up the crowd. He's like shotgunning beers with fans.
It's great.
Like I'm the old cake stand Paul Rhodes days. So then Matt comes, and Matt's very gracious, and so that like we've had these recruiting parties for, I don't know, like one way or another, going back to my years with Dace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, been doing it since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt's all in on it. Like he's great, like early in the early years. And then it kind of loses its luster with the portal, and the university started doing their own thing. Like literally the exact same thing we had been doing.
Yeah.
Like they kind of took it from us, which was fine. Like I get it. They want to do their own thing. I totally understand. And then when We Will comes around, we're like, hey, let's bring it back and make it a huge fundraiser. And then, like, this is the first year since 2004 I can believe that I haven't been a part of some sort of National Signing Day
event.
Yeah,
great point.
Which is just wild to think, like 20 years. But it's been a great legacy, and like what we've experienced over the years. It's kind of sad that like it's just done, but I didn't even realize it was National Signing Day until Aiden told me when we got on the stream. That's why we're talking about this.
For sure.
It just doesn't really move the needle anymore.
And then Iowa State's, but they're not doing, from what I understand, they're not doing a fundraiser, signing day, anything today, although they're going to do apparently the Meet the Coaches event, which you've been a part of in the past. They're going to make it bigger and better this year to try and
I think the circumstances with just
I get it.
Having to sign 50 guys and like all that, you know,
it's not.
Yeah, they're planning on doing a lot of stuff to meet players and all that. But yeah, like that's just kind of a little history lesson there.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't mean what it did. It doesn't resonate. I don't think most fans even realize it until we brought it up.
No, and I bet it was wall to. I mean, it was wall to wall. ESPNU was wall to wall recruiting coverage, and you'd have
yeah, man.
Yeah, how many guys with hats that would switch the hats, and then
they all were doing it live.
Yeah, mom would get upset, and then all the stories are like, oh, it seems, honestly, C-Dub, it seems almost naive in a way. If that's what our biggest concern was, is if the guy's going to pick your hat or not, and not how much money they're getting. Now, we all know at a lot of places there was some money under the table. We're not naive to that, but it's amazing how fast it's grown to what college football signing day was, which felt electric at the time, to it's big business now. I mean, and you've got the courts, you've got Congress, you've got the president, you've got all these people now involved with player recruitment in a lot of ways, and it comes down to the dollar bill. Part of me, it was crazy, but also I'm a little bit nostalgic for the past. It was a simpler time for sure, when all you have to worry about is, is Alan Lazard going to stick with Iowa State or flip to Notre Dame? And you don't have to worry about money because of it.
Crazy times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I kick off the mailbag session?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Is there a better moment than Paul Rhodes holding up Alan Lazard's letter on signing day?
Certainly one of my favorite moments. But that's just what I love about Rhodes, though. Like I don't know, like there's this crazy uncle to him, like, and he is what he is. He's such a genuine, like, authentic dude. Like I love the guy.
I can still remember, for 18 months, he stuck with his commitment. And as a credit to Alan, I'm limiting his access to the media for his freshman year.
Which now would be taboo.
I know.
Like, and didn't Campbell do that? He wouldn't let freshmen talk?
Brock Purdy didn't talk his freshman year at Iowa State.
Because now it would be like you're limiting my ways to make a living.
Yeah, so
because it's limiting my name, image, and likeness.
So funny story, because I'll occasionally post this on Twitter X of the Brock Purdy, and the caption is Iowa State student. I don't know if you've seen that. I put that out there a couple times. Aiden, maybe if you could find that for the YouTube stream, it's on my Twitter at some point along the way. but it says Brock Purdy, Iowa State student, and Brock looks like he's 16 years old because he was a freshman. Well, Brock at the time, when he did that interview, the interview was not related to Iowa State athletics. It was an event on campus, and they happened to catch Brock as just a student walking around like the man on the street interview, C-Dub. And he answered it, but then he immediately calls Mike Green at the sports information office like, I really screwed up, Mike. And Mike's like, okay, Brock, what's going on? Yeah, here's the photo. And he's like, I got cornered by the media, and I talked to them. Am I going to be in trouble? And they're like, no, it's fine. It was you're good, buddy. Like, he was so concerned.
He wasn't talking about like the offensive line stance.
No, it was honestly, it was about. Gosh, I'm trying to remember. It actually might have been tragically the women's golfer story.
Oh, I thought it was the Marshalltown thing.
No, I don't think it was the thing.
That was Chuck.
That was Chuck Bruce.
Bruce.
That was. But back then, Brock was literally concerned that he couldn't talk to the media and he would have to be running stairs or something because KCCI followed him and cornered him for a story. Anyway, that's the origination of that picture. Here we go.
Can we listen to this?
Yeah,
yes.
Let me talk about Alan Lazard a little bit before I get to the rest of the class. Mature, high character, integrity, accountable, trustworthy. True to his word of 14 months. 14 months. Alan Lazard sent in his official national letter of intent today. He's not going to a school in northern Indiana. Boy, they wasted a lot of time and money. He's not going to another school in this state, who feverishly tried to call him about a half a dozen times in the last week. Much to the dismay of people in this room who wasted a lot of space and time challenging his words of commitment, he's going right here to Iowa State University. And true to his word, okay, he will become the second top-rated player in the state, 2 years in a row, to become a Cyclone. And I'm very thrilled with Alan Lazard joining this program. As a bonus to Alan, I'm going to keep him off limits to the media for his freshman year. I think he's earned that after what he's been through the last 14 months.
Which you look
amazing.
At the time, everybody's like, yeah. But it's really, it just hurts fans. It hurts Lazard. It hurts, like, you could have had this guy out there representing your program that everybody wants to talk to. But at the time, you don't think of it like that. You know,
it was a gotcha moment. That's, man, what a world.
Well, Andy's trying to stick it to, like, most of us in that room. Like, I don't know, we weren't bothering him.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you think Rob Gray and, like, Randy Peterson are just hounding Alan Lazard all the time? Like,
that was again. It goes back to
just imagine now it'd be like, hey, Jalen Rayner can't talk to the media.
You don't get to talk.
It's just such a different world. It's crazy.
It is. And they had, by the way, really well done.
Killian Torre, you're off.
Yeah, you're off. You're not talking. They had a nice video with Jalen Rayner on the Cyclone football account. And more of that, please.
I've missed
more of that, please. Really neat kid. I encourage people to take a look at that. And yeah, I mean, it's hard because we lost a lot of people that everybody knew. But the fun part is you're going to have a lot of new people to get to know, too. So it's like a speed dating.
Speed dating.
I don't know. Not that I ever did that, but it's a good analogy.
All right. Well, fun start to the show. Totally off the cuff here. Wasn't planning on doing National Signing Day history, but we've had
The hell was that?
What was that? Was that just me, or was that Cita was just like
Am I back?
spazzing out?
You're
back.
stuck in a loop.
Sorry, I don't know.
Are you a robot? I was really nervous.
This happened on Two Guys the other day. I don't know what it is.
It's got to be an internet thing here. I need to just reset the whole thing. I'm back though.
Okay. Anytime I can pull up my Paul Rose for 14 months,
dude,
I'm so proud.
Of that whole process of writing that book, though, like catching up with him was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. I still think the underrated part of the speech in Nebraska, again, one of my favorite memories, was at halftime when Paul is talking to that really loopy silent reporter, that little guy who was, ran with the Buffalo. I forget his name. He was with Fox
I know
Sports.
who you're talking,
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
And the guy put himself right in the middle of this, which I appreciate. Like
he always did the games with Petros.
Yeah, he put himself in the middle of everything. And again, kudos to that guy because he made silent reporting interesting, and sometimes it's really not. But Paul's talking to him.
I know exactly that guy.
You know what I'm talking? Everybody knows it's that guy. I forget his name. Paul's talking to this guy at halftime, and Paul, I got guys throwing up in the locker room. I got guys with one leg. Anyway, yeah.
Well, God, we just need to do a whole roads. The Texas.
We're losing C-Dub again.
Make a play.
Make a play. Kid made a play. Kid
makes a play.
It's hard to express.
Backs against the wall.
By the way, any luck with Larry?
No.
Okay.
To be honest, I probably didn't work that hard at
That's
it.
fine.
We're good. I need to do a little bit
I'm
better.
just checking in for
I
people.
did real quick. I want to plug this. He's not Larry, but Coach Hansen.
Awesome. Loved it.
CW Pod yesterday on Iowa Everywhere. I interviewed Coach Darren Hansen, who did, I think, every game on ESPN Plus. So he has seen this team up close, like practice, like he's been everywhere. He knows, and he looks at it just from a coaching standpoint, which is he's not a fan of Iowa State, although I think he has become one.
Yep.
I think he
likes
wants
TJ.
the Cyclones to do well, and him and TJ have a really good relationship based on their.
Coach Hansen was the old coach at UNO.
Yes,
Yeah,
so he
so
coached
he's
against TJ in the Summit League a lot.
He's not some rando. It's not like me doing color.
I basically we were gonna do the show last week, and I said, "Hey, Coach, I rolled the dice, and I'm like, I'm banking that they win 2 this week, and I wanted to set it up for like the teeth of the schedule, that sort of thing." And he was awesome. His analysis on Momcilovic and the shooting, and then I asked him to basically scout Iowa State's defense, and I thought you get to February and it's like, what more can we say about these teams that people don't already know? And I thought he brought a lot of new stuff to the table.
Totally agree. Let's hear a little bit of it.
Okay. I see right now is picking your poison because of the Momcilovic situation. Him and Jefferson, it creates a real problem defensively. Momcilovic right now is having definitely one of the top 5 best three-point shooting seasons in the history of college basketball. But then, who's your All-American? Because I could also make the argument for Joshua Jefferson. I could make a pretty intelligent one for Tamin Lipsey. How would you attack them defensively if you see Iowa State in March?
Well, number one, you can't leave Momcilovic because he's having, like you said, one of the greatest years ever. I say that because if you're a 180-degree shooter, you're a great shooter. And what that means is, let's add your 2-point percentage, your 3-point percentage, and your free throw percentage. And let's just say you're 50 from 2 and 40 from 3 and 90 from free throw. You're a great shooter. That's 180. Momcilovic right now is 200. It's unheard of. So you can't leave him. Number 2, you can't let Josh Jefferson go to work in the middle of the floor. When he's in the third of the floor, it's his playground. He goes to work. There's less help. His decisions are quicker. He can catch high-low from Buchanan, but he can shoot it from 3, and he can also make passes high-low to Buchanan. And if he wants to drive it, well, you're in trouble because once you cut him off, he just flips his hips and goes from perimeter to post, and you're in trouble. And then Tamin, live ball turnovers kill teams. They kill teams against Iowa State. They're so good against the double team. They're so good getting tips that you have to get it into the double team and out of the double team to get it to the other side of the floor to attack. And that's easier said than done.
Good stuff.
He just said it 90 seconds, like.
That was insane.
That was really
the Milan
well
thing.
done. Yeah,
I'd noted it to Aiden right when I was like, "Oh my god, that's really good stuff."
I've never heard it called 180-degree shooter, but 50-40 90 is like the Mount Rushmore of shooting, meaning 50% field goal, 40% 3, 90% free throw, and that good job with the graphics too, Aiden.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend.
Aiden's an old graphics pro.
No, that was it's fun. Like if you just watch a game, watch Iowa State a little bit differently when they play. Watch how teams attack the double team or get stuck in their double teams. That was a great point by Coach there of it's easier said than done because in theory it's easy. Is you track the double team, you dribble out of it, then you move the ball to the other side of the floor, and it's going to open things up. But it's really hard to do when you've got monsters coming at you with Torrey's hands, Lipsy's hands. Buchanan's done a really good job of it as well. So that was Iowa State basketball in a 90-second clip. Well done, Coach Hansen.
Coach Hansen, that, again, you can find that you can either, wherever you find pods, search CW Pod, or it's on the Iowa Everywhere feed as well. Presented today, as always, by our friends at Gravitate Co-working. Go to gravitatecoworking.com and check out all of their great options. If you need space, you can have as small as a mailbox. You can have a giant office. You can rent office space if you need to do a meeting there, anything like that.
I have my own office now, which has been a complete godsend because I didn't realize until you get in there every day. Oh, it's so nice to just not telling you CW something you don't know. You have an office too, but to not work in your own home. Oh, it's just I'm eight times more productive. I'm telling you, it's like literally.
No,
multiples.
I get it, especially when you have kids.
Yeah, because you just
it's a big deal.
And you just get hung up with everything. Absolutely. So encourage you if you're working from home and you need a curveball. Try something else. Try out Gravitate, a good way to learn if that's right for you.
Also, Jeff's wife, Hope, is a wonderful lawyer who does wills, family planning. Always want to remind her, hey, I'm in the process of doing that, so I'm getting that done for my family, and I would encourage everybody else to do it as well. Last but certainly not least, in this spot, I want to thank our friends at the Iowa State University Foundation. They are quietly planning right now Forever True Day. I did see that they are I have another story about my wife and our former dog, Dirks, and we're trying to help raise funds for the Pet Cancer Center at the vet school. We're doing that through our friends at the foundation, and it's just an example on how you can do anything you want to help out Iowa State University. And that place up there is super special. Saving animals. There's so many animals have touched so many people. Brent, you just lost a pup. They're part of the family, so look for that. I don't know exactly the publication that one's going to be in, but it's coming out soon. There's a picture of my little girls and Dirk's on the cover. So
awesome, man.
That'll be cool.
Look forward to seeing the big guy again.
Let's okay, so as far as the Wiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment, it's not happening because there's really no games to talk about other than, well, I guess, Kansas and Texas Tech. I mean, Texas Tech, Jiminy Christmas. Now, I know they were down a guy, but God, they choked.
They choked.
They
That's
just
a choke
choked.
Job. That was
they
a
won
choke.
the game. They did everything they needed to do to win the game, and they just choked.
Up 10 with 5 minutes left. And then Darren Peterson, whew, that was a special little last 90-second push he made. And that is why scouts just love the kid. Like, he is – I heard a great comparison for him. I thought, I never heard that, but it's great. And I think it was Miles Simon. I think, again, big kudos to Miles Simon. He said he's a young Ray Allen. I think that's really good.
Oh, wow. Ooh, yeah.
So not Ray Allen, stick him in a 3 with Miami Ray Allen, but Ray Allen at UConn in his early years. What
movie was Ray Allen in?
Yeah, he got game, baby.
He got game. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Jesus Shuttlesworth, man.
Yeah, that was a great. Now,
God, great game. Great movie.
Ray better shooter than actor, but again, did a fine job there for Spike Lee's movie. But no,
I got game. He got game.
He got game. Rick Fox was in that movie. Yeah.
No, Rick Fox was in Blue Chips. Was he in He Got Game?
No, Rick Fox was He Got Game.
I'm getting them mixed up then.
Yeah. Blue Chips
Aiden,
was...
have you ever seen Blue Chips?
Oh, Blue Chips, man.
I've seen parts of it. That's the one.
You got to watch
Penny
it.
Shaq,
That's
right?
Penny and Shaq.
Yeah.
And Bobby Hurley and Bob Knight makes a cameo in there. Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah, Rick Fox hosts him on the Risque Recruiting Visit.
On He Got Game.
Yeah.
So again, played the part really well. But no, so Peterson, he's really good, and that Kansas team is playing defense now. Trey White's starting to make some shots. Badunga's playing great. I mean, they're literally Iowa State changed the trajectory of Kansas basketball this year. They're a threat. They absolutely are. And I say this because C-Dub, they're playing their way, obviously, in the conference standings. If you look at that's a huge win to win at Texas Tech. That is like in the Tim Floyd standings, a game and a half for what they just did. And now, because they beat Iowa State head-to-head, you got to start thinking about them in regards to St. Louis a little bit too, and Oklahoma City.
About that. Yeah.
And they're in that same seed range. Now, Iowa State's still ahead of them, right? But that's Kansas has now put itself back into that conversation along with, and Nebraska's lost a couple. Kansas is now, on that Nebraska level, I think, right now in regards to seeds and location.
Who crazy to imagine that they were unranked when Iowa State.
He's done it. I mean, again, there's a reason why Bill Self is really good, and you're seeing it. I mean, that team was dead. They were dead. I mean, what their effort against UCF was embarrassing, and they have completely turned that thing around to a team that's playing about as well as anybody right now. And they go into Tech down 10, and Peterson, knocks down a couple big shots, but that's a really good team.
Yeah, that was a fun game, but it was frustrating.
It was frustrating. It was frustrating for Tech.
Oh my God! Like I was just screaming at, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
and they were down a guy. Like
they were. Anderson was out.
And that obviously changed things. But man, if you're a Tech fan, you left that game sick to your stomach.
Yeah, they dropped. They're going to drop a seed or two in the tournament because of that game.
Let's go to. This is funny. I just got a text from my wife.
Oh boy.
She goes, "Wait, Kansas won? You gave me so much shit for picking them." Well, that was before I knew Christian Anderson was going to be out.
Who was out? Technically, Tech was up 10 with 5 minutes left, so Tech was the right play.
Yes.
Things we say to each other.
I mean, I did give her shit.
Yeah.
But, things happen.
I'm glad she's giving it back to you.
That's why they play the games, right?
That's why they play the games.
That's why they play the games. All right, let's go to I have 4 mailbag questions from our Patreon subscribers for you guys today. Vernon. Oh, this is interesting. We haven't gotten into this one. How does the NCAA decision to allow sponsorship patches on jerseys impact the athletic department? Will it be by sport or by the entire athletic department? How does college athletics remain college athletics with all these schools and players seeking legal action? Okay, we're not going to get into that part. Yeah. The first part, I think, is a really good question.
Yeah.
And I also think that will likely depend on the university. And I would guess, Brent, that the patches, would Learfield Sports have rights to those? Okay. It won't be like TJ Otzelberger lining up a sponsorship with Bentley to. Okay. Yeah. So this will be a national. Well, not national. That's not true. But Learfield Sports is the media rights holder to Iowa State Athletics, so they would have.
I got a heads up. I got a heads up on this because when I was in the NIL world under Iowa State's ecosystem, I was under the Learfield umbrella. I mean, it's not. So I got a heads up on this in the fall and I wasn't directly involved with solicitation for this, but heads up, this is coming. It's going to be allowed by the NCAA, so start talking to our big partners about the potential here. So essentially the way the Learfield ecosystem works, explain to me like I'm 5 Michael Scott version. Learfield pays Iowa State a set amount per year. Learfield then is the corporate arm of Iowa State Athletics, meaning the Learfield team is the one that goes out and solicits the companies that puts the stuff on Hilton, puts the stuff in Trice Stadium, had the Mid-American logo on the field, and now Learfield's going to
they sell like the signage and like all that stuff.
Yep. And they also then sell Cyclone Radio Network. So when you hear the Cyclone Radio Network presented by Learfield, same company, and then they also help with ESPN Plus ads as well. So again, they're the corporate rights arm of Iowa State, the simplest thing. So we got a heads up in the fall of the patches are coming. Start those conversations. They got legalized last month, so you will see as soon as this fall. I don't know Iowa State what they're going to have, if anything, but you'll see programs start to do it. And the early conversations we had, C-Dub, is you can break those up by sport. You absolutely can.
Okay.
So it's not going to be one. Well, I guess we'll leave. If somebody wants to pay $20 million to have their patch on every single uniform, yes, please. all in, but most likely it'll be split up between sport depending on what the corporation wants to do. Well, we'll see. I bet in the first year you'll have a handful across college football, and then it'll really ramp up, just like you saw with the field naming. You saw it this year across the SEC. For a while, you could not have logos on the field for corporations. That got changed 2 years ago, and you started seeing a lot more of it. Even our friends in Iowa City got the John Deere logo on the field. Like, you're going to start seeing a lot of this now on the jersey patches. One thing we tossed around is maybe have one patch for all of the women's sports at Iowa State. So that was the thought process. But yes, you're going to see it, and you're going to see it as soon as football this fall. Maybe not at Iowa State, but somewhere.
I think it'd be smart to break it up a little bit. I mean, there's going to be somebody who would be interested in the women's basketball patch that would pay that.
Isn't interested in
try and
football.
not use it as like an extra value play, but it'll just depend on the interest. And some companies may not want to do that because it's such a negative. Like, fans tend to, but I would challenge fans. It's like, you got to find ways to create revenue.
Well,
you're
gonna get asked more. I mean, that's the trade off here. And again, nobody likes it.
So
necessarily.
don't bitch about the Casey's logo or whatever they come up with.
The interesting part, I mean, I think it's gonna be interesting. And those are the NBA patches are millions of dollars per year. You know, this isn't like a little drop in the bucket of, oh, okay, let's get $20,000. No, you're talking, if you're gonna get a patch on the jersey, you're spending 7 figures most likely.
Oh, yeah.
So this would be a significant influx of revenue. And what I would say, and again, I'm not in
football and men's basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. I
mean, that's at least a mid 7-figure ask, I would think.
I think it starts there for sure. Now, the field naming, you could argue what's more important or what's more valuable to a company. I'd love this conversation, and I know companies are having this right now. Logo on the field on Hilton or jersey patch, because those logos on the floor and on the field, they're definitely not mid 7 figures. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I don't want to get into all the nuts and bolts because I don't know if it's my place to share what that spend is. Yeah. But
I would say that the field and logos on the floor are worth more.
Generally it is in the NBA at least. Now we'll see how that changes, but yeah, you're going to see it, and it's to help the fans in a way. That way you're not getting asked for more.
That's a good carry on to because they announced more concerts this week, and I made a couple calls because I just wanted to make sure I was understanding it correctly. And when you go to a Jelly Roll concert at Trice Stadium, I mean, it's essentially the same thing as buying a ticket to a football game. And I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that and not falsely presenting how the money worked. So, but yeah, that I was told. I go, so I can say, in good conscience, if you go to one of these concerts, you're supporting Iowa State athletics and helping bridge the gap. And I was told, yes, absolutely, that is the case.
Yeah, I believe the promoter gets a
there's obviously, and the artist has to get paid. It's not paid, but
there's a reason why the Stapleton Straight concert was a massive success. If that didn't go well, you would not be having multiple concerts at Trice. And again, kudos to Iowa State. That's a simple way. It's not simple because it's a huge undertaking, by the way, but it's a way to take some pressure off the fans from giving more. And season ticket renewals are obviously out right now. That is still that's the most important thing. Like if you give me a choice of do you want season tickets out of my fan base or to go to one concert, obviously season tickets.
Yeah.
But it's an additional way to help and get some entertainment. So,
but
this is good. This is a good thing.
It's just a revenue creation. And you have to do that.
One thing I want to say, I don't know. I'm not directly involved anymore. So, but I will say my 2 cents. I believe Iowa corporations need to get way more involved in Iowa State athletics and also Iowa athletics. Drake, you and I as well, because whether it's the jersey patches, more the naming stuff, this area is a lot better when those programs are thriving, and your employees are going to be happier too. And I know it's a hard trade-off of well, my employees also don't want me spending $1 million when they're not getting paid. I understand that. But in order to keep entertainment in the state and quality of life in the state, it takes some investment from some of those big companies. And so I think we got to stop looking at it as, oh, I'm paying the quarterback, and more of, I'm making this area better. And I would say the same to our state legislatures as well.
Absolutely. It's a economic conversation.
It's not an NIL we gotta evolve around. Hey, well, I'm not paying for the point guard. It's like you're not. You're paying for.
You have to think of it like pro sports.
Yeah.
And you look and listen. I'm not even condoning a lot of like stadium, like the way that these owners in pro sports.
I'm totally agree with that too.
Yeah, like there's a for us.
Yeah.
This for our state. Like this is it. Iowa and Iowa State, and to a lesser degree Drake in northern Iowa. And do you want the hotels full on Saturday? Do you want the restaurants full on Saturday? Do you want people coming to our state? All those things? I think the easy answer is yes. If it's no, what are we doing? Like what do we want to be South Dakota?
Well,
we want to be, because it's
it's
scary to think about. Like
I know
that the leaders in this state have to step up, and I understand people are. I can already see you tweeting at me right now. There's a handful of you that like to do this, like about we have more important. I understand that there's needs everywhere. You know what? In every aspect of the world in our history, there's always been needs, and there's always going to be needs. But like this gambling tax thing, if they raise the gambling tax by times 3 and none of it goes to the college athletics, like what are we doing? What are we doing?
I am pro. I think there's unintended consequences that you don't know until it's too late, and there's a reason a lot of these other states are participating. Especially
like the rural ones, like West Virginia has to be aggressive. They don't have anything else, right? Like we are on that ship. We have to invest in this.
Well, and this is why it's not just the state. I would say corporations too. Like if you want your good people to stay, you got to have things for them to do. I mean, this isn't that I love the state of Iowa. I really do. Great quality of life. But one of the reasons why it makes quality of life is Iowa State's got a top 5 basketball program. Like, that's something for me to do and my family to do. If you don't support that, which is a really small percentage in the big budget of things, there's people going to leave the state. And what does that mean? You're losing taxpayer dollars. You're losing property taxes. And you're losing talent from the corporations to hire. Like there are trade-offs here that I just sometimes we don't see the bigger picture, and I'll get off my soapbox for the Wednesday.
Makes it super interesting with the governor changing.
Yeah, and, there's a lot going on.
There's just
a
lot of moving parts.
But I would challenge the corporations of don't look at it as, oh, I'm just paying the quarterback, I'm paying the point guard. No, you are helping keep your employees in a lot of ways.
Kelderman Manufacturing, shout out to them for sponsoring the show as always here on your Wednesday. Also want to thank our friends at the Iowa Clinic. And the Iowa Clinic, go get probably not too late for those flu shots if you need to get on over there. And I've recently been in the Iowa Clinic a lot, and I could not be more happy with them and like just everything for our family in the last few weeks. It's just been incredible. We haven't had a single bad experience there. So give them a shout out to the Iowa Clinic. When you go in there and you're filling out, let them know that we sent you there from Cyclone Fanatic. It helps us out a lot as well. All right, James on Patreon says, I have a theory that Jack Trice has a chance to be the loudest it's been since 2021. Not having a pass rush has killed the energy in that stadium the last few years. Good attendance numbers, but no belief that getting loud will lead to sacks, 3-and-outs, and turnovers. Agree? I kind of agree.
I like that theory.
I kind of agree. Like they have had I agree with the front part of it. I don't agree with that they haven't been able to get 3-and-outs and turnovers because, I mean, the defense has still statistically been pretty good. It's not now. 2 years ago was a huge drop off, but I think we could all look at the injuries that they face and give them a. But over the course of 10 years, the defense really kind of carried the water. I thought for for Campbell's program from a purely statistical standpoint. But I do agree with you that the lack of a pass rush has been sorely missed. And it's funny, I was with my nephew Nolan, who's 16, on Saturday, and he hates the three-man front. He cannot understand it. We were with Jeff Woody, and Woody got into like, oh, yeah, you're wrong, and like started breaking it down for him. And like
all the analogies, yeah.
Yeah. I get it. It is like this death by 1,000 paper cuts thing. And we talked about this when Tyson got the Cincinnati job. We're like, oh, my God, those Cincinnati fans are going to have, like, because it's painful to watch when it's like that. But, like, on the big picture, you look at the numbers, and it's been really good. However, I do agree with James's point that a more aggressive defense after the last 10 years, I think, will be a welcome thing by the majority of fans.
No doubt. And I thought your interview with Haycock was really good because he fought back a little bit against that nature. And I think what he basically said is, well, there was life with Will McDonald and life without Will McDonald. Life with Will McDonald, he set all sorts of records. And then you just haven't had that. So is it the three-man front or is it the personnel? I think it was a combo. And just worth mentioning, and again, I'm a big fan of the guy, but Eli Rashid ended up at Rice and not at Penn State. Okay, so he's the defensive line coach. So, again, another part of the conversation here. But I do think...
Same colors.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, absolutely. I think I had this thought this weekend because when Jimmy Rogers pushing season tickets, and please get your season tickets if you want that place to remain loud, I think you're going to see a kind of a different level of Jack Trice this fall, of a lot more of the, I don't call it diehards, because it'll still be full. But I do think it'll be a different. It'll feel a little bit more like the early Campbell days, where you're really pushing for something. I do think there's a portion of the fan base that, I don't want to say got spoiled, but you were used to good things happening, so maybe you didn't get as excited to make a difference from a noise standpoint. And I think that's going to shift a little bit this year. I really do.
Cue the South End Zone commenters. After
that.
It's
a conversation. It's
Joe,
a conversation.
Joe, he got a fun question for us. What two former Iowa State athletes would you want to fill in for Williams and Blum if you were out for a show? And then he also asked if Scott Christopherson will ever come back to Cyclone Fanatic. I hope so. I love Scott. He just kind of got out of all the media stuff. I love him, and he's a great person, and I hope we can get him back at some point when his kids are a little older. It's hard with the young kids, and, he's a really good man. I like Scott a lot.
Funny Scott Christopherson story, because I did the ESPN Plus games with him, 3 or 4 years ago in the early aughts year. And you did some games with Scott as well out in Brooklyn on the radio. And amazing dude. But Scott's a great athlete, and I'm clearly not. And so during our conversation, I had convinced Scott to buy a Peloton bike because I was getting into it a little bit. And so Scott does buy the Peloton bike, and he's like, Blum, let's do a ride together. I'm like, all right, just former Division I athlete, no big deal. He finished like third out of 10,000 people in this ride when he just bought
like a legit elite.
Like legit third. Yeah. Like he's Lance Armstrong without even riding the thing. And then I'm down at like percentile 52. He's like, Blum, where were you? I'm like, I was well back there. But I had 2 margaritas last night, Scott. You probably didn't. So that was my
clean
excuse.
eater.
He's a good dude. But no, I mean the easy answer here is Tyrese and George. I mean,
and throw Naz in it.
Throw Naz.
We gotta have a 3-man booth. Those 3 guys, just let them go.
Just spitting it. Yeah. By the way, congrats on George for another team. Got traded yesterday.
Man, he's getting like a real.
He's seeing the country.
Boy, I'm trying to think of like one of those old relief pitchers that just like Octavio Dotel.
Yeah. Or what's the quarterback? Josh Johnson,
Sage.
Who's played Sage.
Who's played more, Sage or George? Who's played for more teams?
It's definitely Niang now. It's close, but Niang's beat has got him. Sage would be a former player, but I mean, Sage could just have his own show at this point. I mean, this guy just talks.
God, love Niang, what a goat.
Yeah. Happy for Niang. I hope he gets.
Like,
he is.
I talked to him a few weeks ago, and he was not encouraged by like the progress he was making. And
really?
Stuff, so.
Well, hopefully he gets
probably
one
why
more.
they traded him. I honestly.
Well,
and
he's
less pressure now, and he'll be fine. It's just that's just an injury that takes a while.
He knows, honestly, when you get to because he's 32, 33, you become a trade piece because it's for all these massive deals. You're going to see a couple more of them today. I love this day because we're closing on trade deadline day. Some of those smaller contracts, and smaller is for George, a couple $1 million. You get add-ons to make the math work. So he's honestly kind of a math work guy right now. But hey,
he would be a great piece for a contender if he's healthy to just throw in there and hit threes. And
he 100%. See, if he might get moved again, he's a great team guy too. So I could see somebody
like Cleveland wanting him back, or at some point, a team like that's had him before, and Philly, they're like, we want that guy again.
Yeah, but he's not going to play in the near term, so that's
no. He's just this is for next year.
Yeah,
is what we're looking at with him. Kind of bummed out though. We were looking forward to. Brend was going to be in Utah. We're going to try and hook those guys
right. You're going to hook this. Yeah,
but it happens. Christopher, who is someone on the bench for Iowa State's team that could have an insert name game that without their performance, Iowa State doesn't win? Talking about guys 7 through 12 on the bench. Well, so that probably takes Bateman and Heisey out of the conversation.
I think Bateman's.
I mean, those are the obvious.
Bateman played and you've seen it. We have seen that the last week. Now, Iowa State still beats Colorado without Bateman, but he played really well. He's the answer. Where he's going to have a game here against Houston, against somebody where he comes out and bangs a couple threes that really gets everything going. And Hilton loves that. Hilton loves that guy. Hilton's becoming a Bateman place.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this the other day because it was with my father-in-law, and he follows the team, but not like insanely close, and he doesn't ever know like, oh, that guy's a junior, or that guy's a. And we were talking about next year, like who's gone. And we're like, well, hopefully Milan's there, but Josh and Taman are gone. And you listen, those are big shoes. I'm not trying to, but you start to feel like the Taman piece. If you have Torre and Bateman coming back, you start to feel pretty okay with. Now, I think Heisey would be the hard one to replace, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it just does a little bit of everything.
Right, like the old Swiss Army knife off the bench. But I'm glad that Bateman is having the second half that he is, because this is the guy we all knew was there. We tried telling people to be patient with him, and he's really starting to look the part as far as comfortability on the floor.
Yep, you build your roster around those two going forward, Torre and Bateman. Worth noting, and again, I'm not trying to panic anybody, but after our conversation last week, I'm hearing more and more from my NBA people that they would be really stunned if Milan's not a first rounder at this point. So I would say, I know we said it was 50-50 probably ish last week at this time. I think that percentage is probably skewing more towards the NBA, quite candidly, and I think that's the right move.
Yeah,
I hate it for Iowa State fans. Obviously, we want that guy to be in an Iowa State uniform for 4 years, but his value is never going to be as high as it is right now.
The other point I would make is if that does happen, it opens up a lot of cap space.
It does. That's the fun part here.
Yeah, yep. So like, it's not over.
Nope, not at all. No, I wanted to update the conversation.
But it would be a huge to lose those 4 guys. I'm kind of throwing Nate into the mix.
Yeah,
that's a really big. But you all in on this year and let enjoy the ride.
Go. You got it.
Let's see what happens. And if I hope, for everybody, I hope that does happen, because we've said it. If Milan would go pro, it means Iowa State had a great year. He's a great young man, and we can all start wearing 22 jerseys wherever he ends up.
There you go.
It's a positive thing to be in this conversation. That's all I have for you with the
good
Patreon.
Stuff. Good stuff.
Jackson Pence points out that Mason Williams will be here next year, so you already have that
Great
guy
point.
sitting there. That's a good thing. Really
and
looking forward to the next
the freshman class is really good. I mean, those guys, there's some instant impact guys there. The Youssef Gray kid played in Des Moines last weekend, was actually at the Colorado game with his team, which was cool. So again, Yes, this is basketball. It still is. That's the beauty about college basketball is there's still turnover every year. In Iowa State, regardless of Milan or any of those other guys, they're still going to have TJ, and TJ's going to give them a fighting chance. But it'll be different. It could be different. What's the game situation? Give me the women's game and the men's game time this weekend. And then we got to promote your book signing, pal, because I'm going to be there.
You're coming?
Yeah.
What is that, at 10 o'clock? Yes, I got to be at 10 o'clock. I'll be at the bookstore on campus, which will be really cool. And what a awesome place that is. All the
it's
remodels
really cool.
and
It's really cool.
Man, I might have to get me a little Panda Express at the Union after.
So every time I go there, I get my Panda Bowl.
Take it back to 05.
And that hey, this will be a throwback for some of you. That lady is still there, and she still asks you to round up to help out the charity. You know what I'm talking about if you've been to the Panda lately.
No, I haven't been to the Panda since 2007.
Well, I think that woman was there in 2007 too. But yeah, it's the Panda lady, and she's awesome. She makes my day every time.
I know who you're talking about. She yells at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Because she's keeping the line moving.
She's keeping the line moving, but she's also like tip $1, and it's like
yeah.
Yeah. I want to take my boys to that game. I'm seeking tickets right now, so we're gonna try and find a few. I don't have any anymore. C-Dub.
The old collective days are gone.
They're gone. They're gone. Yeah.
So that'll be again 10 o'clock at the bookstore. Come on over. Would love to see you. So the men play Baylor. That is 1 o'clock.
Okay.
1 o'clock start. I don't think we even know that it's ESPN. It did get ESPN. They were debating ESPN or ESPN2. Trying to think real quick. Houston BYU 9:30 Saturday night. FYI.
Electric Factory for that one.
Yep, that's in Provo.
And when do the Iowa State women play?
Aiden, I'm going to pull you up on that one. Well, wait a minute. I have it. Never mind. That is at 6 o'clock in Utah.
Ooh, okay. Big game.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like a ticket. Hard to get ticket, too. $55 over there.
Is
at the
Utah
Huntsman
good?
Center? They were better last year. They're still they're still tournament-ish. Yeah.
So the Cyclones will probably be a slight favorite in that.
Probably a very slight favorite.
A couple points maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the men will probably be damn near 20-point. They shouldn't. I shouldn't say that. I always think that, and then they just keep killing people. 16.5.
Yeah, I'd say
that'd be my projection.
It's going to be 15 or 16.
16.5.
Okay.
They'll get an extra point.
Right, they get that Hilton bump.
Baylor, Colorado tonight. By the way, keep
Okay.
an eye on that one.
Keep an eye on it. Yep.
Decent little scouting opportunity. Oh yeah, little guess the point spread. I love it. Good job, babe. All right, I think that's all I got for you guys. It's a good show today.
Yeah.
Just
Cheers,
so
all.
you know, I am going to go on a little trip with my wife here this weekend, so I think Brend is planning to do the show with you on Sunday, if that's cool.
Okay, we're NBA all the time, baby.
Yeah, these sickos are going to be like, oh, the Grizzlies are hosting.
Hey, James Harden fit on the Cavs? Do he and Donovan Mitchell coexist? Okay, I don't know. Find out on
He's
Sunday.
on the Cavs?
He got traded yesterday, yeah.
Did he really? Dude, Brent, I have not watched a minute of the NBA. I did this the other night as I don't know who's good. I haven't looked at the standings. I just looked it up because I used to be a huge Chicago Bulls fan. You know that.
Yeah, they just traded Vucevic yesterday.
Who'd they get? I didn't know that.
They got they traded him to shoot, man.
They just got fleeced in that deal back in the day.
They did.
God, what a disappointment.
Boston.
That guy
They traded him to Boston.
He'll be a good fit there.
Yeah.
At least Boston has a coaching staff capable of using him.
They do.
God. No, I was like, the Bulls, they're the shittiest drafting organization. Like, that Patrick Williams is just garbage. Colby White, is good, but, my God, just.
They got Anthony Simons back. Nice little player.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Anthony Hardaway?
Cheers.
This is why I don't like the NBA, though. Because, there's so many of these stars that you don't know who they are. It's all based on like potential. They told me for like 4 years, just wait. This Patrick Williams from Florida State is going to be the man. You have any idea? I'm so over it.
Well, good. We'll tune in Sunday. And Jake and I will break it all down.
I just need Tyrese back, man, because that gives me something to watch.
Exactly.
All right,
Get healthy,
Britt
George.
Blum,
Cheers.
Thanks to Mekdine, as always. Aiden Wyatt producing. We'll be back on Sunday night here in Cyclone Fanatic.